Hi dear friends, we are now showing you the second type of contralateral superior articular decompression and osteotomy of the SAP. What you see here is me burying away the second arc. The second arc is the contralateral arc of the lamina, and I'm burying it away, substantially removing the IAP and going towards the contralateral foramen. Here you can see I'm doing a lateral recess decompression, and I'm sweeping again towards our side, towards the midline, then going again laterally and also going cranially towards the opposite pedicle. You can see below me is the flavum intact, and that assures my safety in my act. Now you can see the opposite lamina, how it is sweeping, bleeding from the surface of the bone that we have burred, and here we're going below the opposite lamina, undercutting the IAP to some extent, and then going on to the SAP. As you see, the flavum gradually strips away but doesn't move away. It's as though it is detaching itself from the wall, and I'm able to cut away a decent part of the opposite facet. Doing a proper lateral recess decompression, I'm coming downwards towards the SAP and towards the pedicle of the SAP. Now this is going upwards towards on the IAP towards the foramen. Now what I'm doing is I'm doing a maneuver of rotation of my camera. The scope is the same. I only have rotated the position of my camera, and now I'm looking down into the tunnel. You can see the midline cleft. You can see the opposite flavum. At this stage now I'm doing the flavectomy on the opposite side, exposing the dura, going to the lateral edge of the dura. I felt the flavum here was too thick and was not giving me enough space. I needed more space, so I decided to do the contralateral osteotomy after removal of the flavum. You can see how I have changed my camera view, made it more vertical, and I'm removing a lot of this flavum by the side of the cord. You can see the lateral edge of the spinal cord coming into view. And you can see that I'm removing a lot of the flavum from the lateral recess. You can see where the flavum is stripped off the IAP and SAP. You can see the laminar bone above. You can see the soft tissues pulsating from above. And here I'm focusing on removal of the flavum. There's a lot of hypertrophic lipomatosis around the spinal cord, which I have to gradually control the bleeding. But as you see, as I remove this flavum, you will be able to see the surface of the disc, and the IAP is the white shining structure which is coming in your view. Now I'm moving an osteotome, keeping a little bit of the flavum. I'm keeping the osteotome on the IAP, stripping along the IAP a little bit with the osteotome, yes, to measure the amount of bone I want to cut. I think this is the amount I will remove, and now I will start with my osteotomy. And it's a J-shaped osteotome, so it does not really press on the dura. You can see below, and I'm cutting away the SAP. Now the maneuver is to try and bring this fragment in. So as you crack it open, you twist the osteotome without removing the osteotome and try and mobilize this fragment with its flaval attachments inwards into the canal. You can see how nicely I'm doing that. Slowly I'm doing it without much strength, sweeping above that fragment and then pulling that fragment in, and you can see how large it is. It's a huge fragment, much more than what you expected. This was the hidden part of the SAP, which was outside and not in our view. Now I'm trying to bring it in, but it morcellates. And slowly it comes in. You can see how big it is. It's not coming in with one maneuver. Slowly I'm bringing it in, making sure that it's not touching my dura below, and out it comes. Now, you can see the entire foramen open in front of you. You can see the discal surface below, which is open to you, from where we can do a contralateral discectomy should we desire to do it. That is an option open to us, but not needed in this case. So now I'm removing the remnant of the flavum within the foramen, slowly exposing the foramen and the discal surface below. The root is still not in our visual field. The root is passed out laterally. We are below the root. We will be gradually going upwards, gently catching only the flaval bits to expose not only the root but also the entire discal surface below us. We are in the axilla. You can see nicely the lateral edge. You can see the pulsation coming in from the DRG. The foramen is nicely open. The white surface is the disc below us, on which my kerison is resting. This is the flavum within the foramen, the extension of the flavum within the foramen, which I talk about, which protects the exiting nerve root. And there in the upper corner where I'm working, you can see the exiting nerve root. What you see below you is the entire discal surface, which is exposed. From here, you can do a contralateral discectomy using an angled disc forceps if you wish to. Not that it is needed in this case. Nicely, the dural edge, the discal surface, and the exiting root all are visualized. Removing a few tags of flavum from the pulsating root. That is the root over there, which I'm pointing out to you now. And this is the discal surface below us to do a contralateral discectomy if you wish to. Once again, in this case, it was not needed. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed this video. It's a demonstration, a second demonstration of how in a very tight place where you need some times to remove the flavum, how you remove the flavum, how you cross over to the opposite side, and how you safely extract the contralateral SAP. That has been demonstrated to you. You can see the pulsating nerve root, the discal surface, the traversing root, and the dura below us, pulsating quite comfortably. Thank you very much for your kind attention, my dear friends, and I hope you like this. video of mine. Once again, I will mention that I do osteotomy of the contralateral side, sometimes preserving completely the flavum and sometimes after removing the flavum. Both procedures to our advantage, depending upon need.